Hi everybody, welcome back to Embrace the Journey with Sharon. And I'm very excited today because I have a very amazing woman with us who's going to share a little bit about her life with us, intimacy. She's going to give us a little lens into her life, some contrasts that she experienced, and the growth that she found within it. And then we're going to talk about something really, really cool that she put together that might be a great idea for you to connect people that you care and love about. So my guest today is Bonnie Schiavone. Hello. And I'm grateful to call her friend. Truly grateful. She's absolutely amazing in who she is as a human being, and her story is quite inspiring and impactful, and I hope that you get as much out of her as I do on a daily basis. So welcome again.
Thank you, Sharon.
You're welcome. So there was a time in your life that there was a very impactful moment that came in your life, and I wanted to know if you would share some of that with the people that are listening today.
Well, when I was 30 years old, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And that was a very impactful moment for me. And
do you remember where you were?
I was actually living in New Zealand and had just moved there just months prior. And
so no family, no established friends, or?
No, not really. I had just joined the American Women's Group, so I had a new circle of friends. My children were barely 1 and barely 2, and it was very difficult to be on the other side of the world with that kind of a diagnosis. And I was also diagnosed 18 months after the first one with another lump, and so that was the second breast cancer. And at that,
do you remember when you were sitting the first time that they told you? Do you remember where you went, like in that moment?
Well, strangely enough, I always felt that I was going to be diagnosed with breast cancer. In fact, when I was very young, I believe I was 12, I wrote a report about breast cancer survivors, and I interviewed breast cancer survivors because I was so sure that I was going to get it.
Don't know why. Is it something that was in your family?
It was not in my family, but it was just a strong feeling that I was going to get it. So in my lifetime, I was always prepared for that possibility. My mom was diagnosed just 1 year before me, and at that moment I started to feel like, oh, it's coming. And perhaps I manifested that, but what came from it was a gift. And looking back on that time in my life, I had a lot of stress. I had just moved to another country, which was on the other side of the world from my friends and family. I had 2 babies, 1 and 2, and didn't know anybody. And it just hit me that I have got to find a way to make the most out of my life. And I analyzed where I was and who I was, and realized that this is the time to turn my life around and really focus on the important things in life. Focus on the good things that were happening to me. Focusing on getting myself well so that I could be here for my young children. And making a new circle of friends, and it became actually a very special time in my life.
So how did you educate yourself on it? Because I know you were 12 and you did a report and you did that, but now you're 30, and you do have 2 young children that you have to think about, and it wasn't like this is your family doctor or anything like that. So how did you reach out? Was there any groups? I mean, how did you educate yourself on making the right decisions for you in that moment? And then then bring us to the 18-month part where you're saying there was a new growth.
Friends have always been very important to me in my life, and as I mentioned at that time, I really only had that small circle that I had just met. But those friends became my family. And there were a couple of women that were in that group that had been diagnosed with breast cancer themselves, and they were recovering, and they reached out to me and really helped me through it. And I had wonderful doctors that were very gracious and helped. As far as the research goes, I found that the more research I did, the more scared I would get, so I stopped reading. And I just started listening inside. And you know, as I was going through chemo, I was visualizing the chemo, just attacking those bad cells and keeping the good cells intact. So I did a lot of visualizations. I mean, that was really a life-changing moment for me. I mean, I really learned what it meant to appreciate what I have. And
visualize what you wanted. I think many of us, I was speaking with somebody earlier today, when we come across a problem, and this is a life-threatening problem, we tend to say what we want. I want to get better, I want to, you know, feel better, whatever, but yet we come from it in the place of the problem. And what I'm hearing you say is that you recognize what you were dealing with, you were surrounded by an amazing group of friends and women who helped support you in it, you set your mind on what you wanted, and you started visualizing it. You started visualizing, you know, the chemo and all of that, taking it, getting it out of you. Getting it out of you,
And it really made me realize that you can't sweat the small stuff. And it's the big decisions that are really important, and just finding a way to make a positive out of the situation was extremely important. And feeling love of those new friends that I have, and feeling the support, and that in turn has really made me into the person that I am today.
Yeah, because, I mean, so then you get a second diagnosis, and, you know, first off, people have a choice in that moment, and many people don't make the choice that you made. So I appreciate you sharing with people that, yes, it is a choice. And then you have the second diagnosis, and again, some people would just choose to go to the negative side of it, and I know you didn't. I know that in that moment, I'm sure it took you back, but I know that you know, you kept going in the positive, and this is difficult because now it's coming up again, and then there was a third time as well.
Well, in my second diagnosis, I baffled the doctors because there was less than a 5% chance that it was ever going to come back, and I had really just been to my doctor. And so one thing that's, I think, is really important is you know your body better than any doctor knows your body. So go with your gut feeling. And that's truly what saved my life both times, because the first time the doctor did not believe that it was cancer and wanted me to wait 3 months, and I just felt like I couldn't wait 3 months. At the 2-month point, I was at a point where I was just convinced that this is what I knew I was going to have, and I wanted to start treatment. And he was very surprised that it turned out that it was cancer. But on the second diagnosis, I had literally just been to the doctor days before and had been given a clean bill. And somehow I felt another teeny tiny lump. I mean, it was very, very small. And when I went back, he just didn't believe, this new oncologist did not believe that it could be cancer because there was such a small percentage. But in my heart and in my gut, I felt it.
And so you stood up for yourself. I
stood up for myself. I found another surgeon who also believed that no lump should be in a woman's breast, and he did the surgery. And when they discovered that it was cancer again, it was a celebration that it was no longer in my body. At that point, I finally felt, okay, I'm going to be okay, and I'm going to move forward. I'm going to be the best mom that I can be and the best friend that I can be to my friends that have supported me and loved me when I didn't have my family around me. And truly, it was a gift.
And it is finding in our moments of contrast the gift. And so you found it once, and then you found it a second time, and then the third time presented itself. And at that point, share a little bit about that situation there, and how you were affected, how your body was affected through this whole journey that you were on of battling something that was not supposed to be in your body.
Well, the third one was actually a pre-cancer, and that one was in 2000. But again, it was fortuitous, as the surgeon put it, that I had insisted on having surgery because, once again, I had gone with my gut. And this one actually was not in the lump that I had felt on the chest wall, but it was in the tissue that was surrounding it. So, quote unquote, it was fortuitous that I had this surgery.
So when you say that know yourself, I mean, you really mean like know yourself. Like, don't be afraid to look at yourself and, recognize.
And do self-exams, because the mammograms did not pick it up. And the other tests that they did, the ultrasound, did not pick it up. So I had to go with my gut.
Yeah.
It was 100% because of those self-exams that I was able to find it. But through the journey, I was putting on a lot of weight. I was pretty much like this until I was diagnosed with the cancer, and I was put on a lot of medications, and hormonally my body was changing, and I managed to put quite a bit of weight on. And
yeah, I mean, you brought a picture in of, I mean, if you look at this picture, it is, except for that amazing smile and those beautiful eyes, I mean, it's two different people. You were two different people.
It's the same person, it's just the shell looks different.
Right.
So
yeah.
I always had the same faith and positive attitude when I was in that body, or that form, as I am now. I am much happier in this body.
But you've shared with me that people, you didn't see yourself that way, and people didn't see you that way because of who you are and the laughter that you have in your life and that you give to other people always, and your attitude, and just the essence of you. That's what shines. And so many of us, I mean, this is another thing that many people struggle with. There's so much stress out in the world now, and for you that was probably one of the things that added to this, as well as the medications. And excuse me, in my opinion, there are a lot of people that are on medications right now that the doctors prescribe to mask a symptom instead of deal with it. And you're saying, go with your gut, and the weight gain and stuff a lot of times comes from the medications as well. So share a little bit about this part of your journey, because again, another transition for you. This is the visual aspect of it is not you anymore.
Right. And this was a huge transition for me. I lost 43 pounds a little over 4 years ago. This picture was taken about 5 years ago, and it was at that moment when I saw that picture that I realized that this is not how I wanted people to see me. I didn't feel like I looked like that, but the pictures say 1,000 words. And
yeah, and that's interesting that you say that, because we almost look past ourselves sometimes when we are living unconsciously.
Right.
We just go with the flow and don't recognize ourselves until there's a moment.
Right. So I had a goal in my mind that by the time I turned 50, that I wanted to be in the best shape of my life. And I had found a program that had worked for a friend of mine, and so I went on it. I lost 43 pounds with it.
Amazing.
And now I had transformed my body almost to a point where now my mind and body had the right connection, and I really felt very good about myself at the age of 50.
You tuned yourself in. Yeah.
Right.
Fabulous at 50.
Fabulous. Yes.
Now, did it take you the 4 years, or did it take you 4 years to lose the 43 pounds?
No,
or?
I actually lost the weight over 4 years ago.
Wow.
I lost 35 pounds in 3 months, and then I transitioned into a more steady diet, and I lost another 8 pounds, so the total was 43. And I've managed to keep it up for over 4 years, and it's been very easy. But the key is that I feel so much better and healthier, and I love being able to support other people and
because
help
you're a health
them,
coach
because now I'm a certified health coach for the company, and I get to help other people make that mind-body connection and help them feel better about themselves.
So what I'm hearing, what I like about this is that when we started, you were sharing about what you were going through and the support of the people in your life to help get you through it. And then you did this for yourself, and now you are a health coach doing the same thing. You're paying it forward in the sense of now supporting those people in getting healthier for themselves as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I have always been one of those people that love to help other people. And knowing that I've made a difference in even one person's life means the world to me.
Yeah. Well, you have made a difference in my life. Bonnie and I met about a year ago, and it was in January. And one of the things about Bonnie is that she has this amazing group of women, and she's a great connector. She connects people. She just sees kind of who they are and what they're all about, and she connects them. So she created this amazing, I don't even know how to describe it. I want to say event, I want to say support group, I want to say empowerment group. There's so many enriching words that I could put around it. And it's called Women Who Rock. Men, you can do this too, but it's called Women Who Rock. So let's talk a little bit about why you created this group, and what has it gifted you with, and what have you seen it do for the other women?
Well, it was kind of an accidental thing that happened. I'm so blessed to have so many amazing, wonderful, incredibly talented women in my life, and I wanted to have a way that all these different women that came from all different areas of my life to meet each other. And I just knew that they would all feel a connection with each other, and could essentially support each other too. And so last year I invited, I think it was 55 women, all of whom are very close friends of mine, because I really only wanted it to be people that I felt a strong kinship with, and
so not just
had
acquaintances.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That I had a strong connection with. And so I invited everybody, and we had 48 women come. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to find a way that everybody could instantly meet and greet each other and find something that they could talk about. So,
because there could have been the possibility you had all of these groups of women, and what could have happened if you hadn't done that is these groups would maybe meet each other, but the groups that knew each other might have kind of stayed to themselves.
Exactly. I mean, because they come from such diverse areas of my life, the chance of them meeting each other wasn't, some of them meeting each other wasn't that great, but I wanted them to. So I arranged it where everybody told me something that was unique to them before they came. And what I did is I prepared a bingo game. And I put everybody's unique trait about them into a bingo card. And what happened essentially is as soon as the women walked through the door, they were to find the people that matched the unique trait that was in the bingo game. So it was instantly a buzz in the house.
It was a buzz. There was all kinds of energy going on. Yeah, it was all kinds of amazing energy. And it was a wonderful way, just a relaxed way to go around and start up a conversation with somebody that you didn't know.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I had them do is write on a stone and use the one word that was important to them and an empowering word for them for the year 2012. And I had them write on one stone that they kept for themselves and one stone that they put into a bowl that I would keep. So I have a bowl full of rocks from the Women That Rock.
And what kinds of things did they write?
There were words like thrive, believe. There were many different words, whatever was important to them.
Awaken, yeah.
And at the end of the evening, 48 women outside in a big circle went around, and each person told what their unique trait was, and each person told what was on their rock. And magic happened. And it became a very almost spiritual circle where women felt comfortable letting their guards down and talking about why that word that they wrote on their stone was so important to them.
Yeah, I remember one of the women that started the circle, she shared, her story, but she didn't want to share what was on her stone. And by the time it came full circle, she shared with us what was on her stone. And I have goosebumps right now because, again, I was blessed to be a part of this. And it really was, we had a full moon that night too, didn't we? It really was, it really can't describe it. It was inspiring, it was empowering, it was amazing in the sense of hearing some of these stories. Didn't one lady work with lions or something, and another one had been like some type of cop or something? And these are people that you knew, and you didn't even know some of what their stories were. It was actually a really, really amazing night. And the reason that we're sharing this with you is Bonnie's been on a journey, and it's been an up and down journey, and she's always focused on the positive. Not saying that she doesn't have her moments, but she decides to choose to focus on the positive, and she's surrounded herself with amazing people, but women for this particular event. And I wanted to share this with you and have her share it with you because it would be a wonderful thing for you to do. Connect the people that you love and care about. I hope that this show inspires you in many ways. Inspires you to know that know your body better than anybody else, inspires you to know that you can change who you are physically when you decide to, and also know that they're your friends that surround you. It's important for us to be connected. So I hope that you get this out of the show, and I so very much thank you for being a part of my life and sharing your story with us. And remember to embrace the journey, because when you do, it can be amazing.